So, in the beginning of the film, a man wakes up scared by a noise. What was the noise? When he went out to check, we saw that a strange-looking creature threw its knife towards the man from a distance, due to which the man's head got separated from his body and fell off. And the name of this creature is told to us here as Boogeyman after the scene cuts. We are now shown a man named Eric who has not spent time with his family for a long time because he is working on a new project. When his wife tells him that you do not give time to the family, Eric says, "Let this project of mine be successful. Then we will go on a beach vacation." Here Eric's son also gives him his drawing. Eric sees that he had drawn a man in front of the hut and a strange creature behind him. When Eric asks him about this creature, he tells that this creature is Boogie who bites and eats all humans. Eric asked her, "Who is telling you such scary things and about such creatures?" She replied, "You told me about the Boogie." Anyway, now he left from here. It was revealed that he was not going to the office to work overtime, but he was going to spend the weekend with a friend of his, and he comes to a deserted cabin in the forest. This cabin was very strange. His friend also said that I am finding this cabin very strange. But Eric said that I have not found any place safer than this. So now we will have to adjust here for 2 days. The girl goes to change, and Eric sits on the sofa. When he feels something in his pocket. When he takes it out, it is his son's drawing. He notices that in this drawing there is a cabin exactly like the cabin in which they were staying today. But anyway, he does not pay attention to it and throws this drawing there itself because now his friend had come here. Both of them stay together till evening, and in the evening Eric's friend tells Eric that this cabin looks even more scary at night. Do you know how I feel while staying in this cabin? Like I used to have some scary dreams in my childhood. In that dream, I used to be locked in a cabin like this. Well, now Eric's friend goes downstairs to get something, and then he hears the sound of someone walking in this cabin, and outside we are shown that actually the boogeyman had come here to find his new victim. When Eric's friend does not see anything at home, she comes out of the cabin to check. There was a green light outside the cabin in which she got lost, and flowing inside a trance, she started going towards the forest. When she regained consciousness, she also tried to go back. But now it was as if some force was pulling her towards the forest. She got badly confused as to what was happening to her. Suddenly in the forest, the boogeyman comes and stands behind her. When she looks back, she bumps into him and falls down in fear. The boogeyman immediately, and without thinking, slashes his big knife on her neck, and just like the previous murder, her head is separated from her body. The blood flows into the soil, and thus another victim of the boogeyman is complete. Unaware of all this, Eric was still sitting on the bed in his cabin. Suddenly, someone opens the door of his room. We are shown that it is the boogeyman whom Eric could not even notice. The scene cuts, and the next morning we are shown all of Eric's friends. Calvin, who is just doing rehab to quit his drugs, does not like this place at all because coming to such areas makes one feel more like doing drugs. Whereas Tim and his wife liked this place very much. Now Calvin was angry on another thing that why Ari did not come down to meet him himself. Tim tells him to ignore it, and they go inside. As soon as he goes inside, Calvin sees a glass full of wine on the table which was filled by Eric's friend last night, still kept there. Calvin felt like drinking it. Before he could hold the glass with his outstretched hand, a painful scream is heard from above. Everyone goes upstairs in fear. Tim and Calvin see that the one screaming was Tim's wife, who had seen Eric in a bad condition. It seemed to us as if she had seen Eric's dead body. Anyway, these people were upset with Eric for many things. First, he had chosen a good cabin. Second, he was not taking any interest in them, and third, he had not even completed the supplies here. That is, these things became the reason for a big fight. They change their clothes, and finally Eric leaves them and goes away from here, without thinking that he is not taking the person with whom he had come here. Due to this whole situation, Calvin gets very stressed, and to reduce his stress, he again starts searching for beer in the house. He even takes out a beer can from the dresser and drinks the remaining beer from it. He did not know that at this time someone is observing him, and this was the boogeyman. At this time, Calvin notices that Tim's wife was changing clothes inside the room. He started watching her secretly, and suddenly Tim's wife also came near the window. Not because she had seen Calvin, but because she had seen the shadow of the boogeyman. Meanwhile, Tim also comes here and asks him, "What are you doing here?" So he starts making excuses that I was chasing the raccoons from here. Well, during all this, it becomes evening and all these people start playing poker. Calvin, who was disturbed since morning, now starts feeling that he needs drugs. Much stronger than beer or wine. That is why he goes upstairs and checks Eric's luggage. But then he finds nothing in it except cigarettes. And now the poor guy comes down after smoking cigarettes. Where his friends had already caught him that you are cheating in your rehab, right? But he lies that no, I went to the washroom in the afternoon. But when these people do not get distracted, Calvin says to change the topic that I have heard that the forest behind the cabin in which we are staying is very dangerous. Whoever comes here disappears. He also tells these people about the boogeyman about whom many stories were famous in this entire area. Tim's wife gets very scared of all these things and she asks them to leave immediately, and to improve her mood, Tim starts teasing her. Calvin was feeling very strange watching these two laughing and playing. He was feeling very lonely, and he was also not able to understand how he should behave while sitting like this. This condition becomes even worse for Calvin. When the couple goes to their room, he started feeling even more lonely. So now he had no other option except drugs. So he gets up and starts searching the house again, hoping that he might find some drug from somewhere. Now, when he does not find anything here, he finds mouthwash and some tablets, reading the ingredients of which he was guessing whether if he eats and drinks them, he will get intoxicated like drugs. The scene cuts and we are shown Eric, who is still on his way home. It was strange that it was evening since morning, but he was unable to cross a forest. Finally, his car breaks down in the same forest, and he becomes more mad with anger. We see the couple together again in the cabin and Calvin with all the strange things he had collected. He consumes the strange medicines present here, and on top of that, he also consumes all the mouthwash. On the other hand, Eric started seeing the same green light from the forest that we had seen with his partner. This light took him into a trance as well, and he started moving inside the forest while hypnotized. Before he regains consciousness, the boogeyman pulls him towards himself and attacks him and eats his flesh, and thus Eric dies. While now in the cabin is Calvin, who had also consumed all that mouthwash. Due to eating such strange things, he starts vomiting and gets a lot of stomach pain, and finally he knocks on Tim's room door and tells him that his health is deteriorating. Calvin was thinking that his friends will take care of him, but here his friends get angry for disturbing them, and Calvin gets more disturbed by their behavior. When Calvin's friend realizes this thing, he comes to Calvin. Calvin now tells him that now I am better than before. But still, to improve Calvin's mood, he sits with him and asks him about his life, and here he tells that he is not happy with his life at all, and he does not know how he has collected so many problems in his life. Here Dumb encourages him and tells him that life can be absolutely normal like before, but not like you want. You think that if everyone takes care of you, then everything will be fine. This will not happen. First, you have to take care of yourself. Things like this. While doing this, Calvin's mood becomes good, and they all go to sleep. In the morning, when they wake up, Tim's wife sees that all his mouthwash is finished. She comes and starts scolding Kevin, and instead of accepting his mistake, Calvin tells them that you people are blaming me. Just because earlier I used to say drugs. These people also tell him to tell the truth. We will not say anything to you. But Calvin starts scolding them instead. In anger, he himself goes out of the cabin and goes fast inside the forest. While talking to himself, he did not even realize that he had reached the middle of the forest, and here he meets a couple who had come to the forest for camping. When Calvin was talking to these two, he heard strange sounds from a distance. These sounds bothered him a lot. He told the couple, "I am hearing such sounds from the kit, as if someone is murdering people." Hearing this, the couple starts laughing and then becomes serious and tells him, "Oh no, there are no such sounds here. These are definitely either animal sounds, or you are suffering from some psychological disease due to which you are hearing such strange sounds." To normalize his mood and reduce these symptoms, they also give him a cigarette, and he happily smokes it. Now he climbs up a tree here and sees that another couple had also come on the other side of the tree. When he was observing this entire forest, then he saw a strange shadow in the trees on the other side of the forest. To check that shadow, he went to those trees. But now there was no human being there for miles. During all this, suddenly he collides with a man. He got scared that this is not the same person whom he had seen. But Tim had come here, who was getting tired of looking for him. Tim asks him, "What are you doing here?" He still doesn't tell him anything and says, "I have just come to enjoy nature." Now both of them also come with him to the jungle and decide to play a game in the jungle. Now they had made a point and they had to drop the ball on that point. Calvin's ball falls very close to the first ball, but not Tim's wife's. And when Tim takes his time, he hits a shot on such a perfect point that Calvin's ball also goes away from there, and in this way Calvin loses. Tim hugs his wife in happiness, and whenever he wanted to get close to his wife, Calvin used to get angry for some unknown reason. In such anger, he leaves all the games and comes back to his cabin, and now it is dinner time. Tim's wife had made a very good dinner. But what was Calvin seeing? Calvin saw raw meat in this dinner. He felt very strange seeing this. When he looked ahead, the couple was eating that raw meat in a very aggressive manner. He started feeling even more upset. But then here we realized that there were noodles in the dinner. And all the things that Calvin was seeing at this time were due to his hallucinations, and he was getting these hallucinations because of eating strange things. Now the scene cuts, and we're shown Delvin, his friends, and the couple camping in the forest sitting together. Calvin smokes cigarettes with these people and also talks strange things here. Meanwhile, the Boogeyman comes behind them and slits the throat of everyone one by one with his big knife, and here Calvin opens his eyes in fear. But we come to know that it was just one hand of Calvin. Now when he opened his eyes, he was even more disturbed because strange sounds were coming from the tin room upstairs. He was going mad with these sounds. To reduce all these things, he again gets a ridiculous idea in his mind. He goes to the washroom and takes out the drink cleaner from there. He first smells it. His heart got upset just by smelling it. But still he did not stop, and he drank the whole drink cleaner at one time, and when he was not satisfied even with this, he drank beer on top of it. He had drunk a kind of poison. His health had become very bad. Despite that, his mind was still engaged in the sounds coming from upstairs. To get away from them, he goes to the forest, and now he sends a message to his grandmother. At first, he complained a lot in this message. But at the end he said that, "Grandma, I love you very much, the most in the world," after which he sent a voicemail. First he was apologizing to his friend, but then when he started remembering all the things she said, he got angry and said bad things to his friend, and also said that you deserve to be left. After which he now sent a voicemail to Eric and said that, "Friend, please, I am sorry. I had behaved very badly with you. This vacation is feeling very strange without you." You come back. While doing this voicemail, suddenly he sees someone's car parked in front of him. He comes to his senses and notes this car. Then it was Eric's car. He became happy. He quickly moved towards that car, but the doors of the car were open and there was no one inside. While searching for Eric, he went ahead turning on the torch of his mobile, and he saw Eric's dead body in front of him, and there was also a Boogeyman. It was a very scary scene, seeing which he himself got scared because the Boogeyman was eating Eric's flesh. Calvin runs back to his cabin in fear, and the strange thing we notice is that the Boogeyman does not panic at all. He does not run after him to kill him but sits there and remains busy eating Eric's flesh. As soon as he comes to the cabin, he runs to the team's room and, disturbing their privacy, he quickly asks both of them to leave from here. Both of them were getting angry at him, that what is this way of coming into the room, but he tells them, "Please understand me. We are in danger. I have seen the Boogeyman here and Eric's dead body. If we have to save our lives, then we have to leave from here immediately." Now because this couple already knew about Calvin, that Calvin loses his senses after eating strange things. So that is why even now people do not believe him at all. This time Calvin was so scared that he told them the truth. "Yes, I admit that I have eaten all sorts of things, and at this time I have also drunk drainage cleaner. But despite that I am conscious because I have regained consciousness after seeing Eric's dead body. Believe me, I am speaking the truth. There is a Boogeyman here, and he will come soon and kill us. We have to get out of here as soon as possible." Hearing such words of his, Tim's wife gets very scared and she asks him to run away from here immediately. Now to calm his wife down, he says, "Wait, I will go to check what he is saying." Saying this, Tim goes out and Calvin follows him pleading. Please don't go there, don't go there. But then Calvin was too strong for him. He takes him to the place where Eric's car was. He saw Eric's car. But here he neither saw the Boogeyman nor Eric's dead body. Tim started scolding him. See, I told you that nothing will happen here, but he did not know that what is going to happen now is very dangerous. Suddenly a green light is seen in the forest. The same light is seen which every person sees before becoming a victim of the Boogeyman. Calvin keeps stopping Tim. Don't go there. Don't go there. But Tim comes under the influence of that light and starts walking in front. Calvin is unable to understand what he should do. Should he go after Tim to save him, or should he run away from here to save his life? He stands here for a long time thinking in panic, and in the meantime Tim's work is finished. A few seconds later, when Tim came in front of him, there was a very big hole in Tim's stomach from which blood was continuously falling out, and Tim also fell down in such a condition. He died. He became a victim of the Boogeyman. Seeing the scene, Calvin came back home in fear, and he told everything to Tim's wife, who was already waiting for both of them in fear. This girl gets even more scared and panicked. Calvin brings a saucepan and a ball from the kitchen. He wears it on his head and asks Tim's wife to do the same. He tells her to wear it on her head so that the Boogeyman cannot think of us. Tim's wife tells him, "Have you gone mad? Why should we stay here? We should quickly run away from here." They had made the decision, but now the time had passed. As soon as they opened the door outside, the Boogeyman was already in front of them. Both of them got scared of him, and in fear, Calvin Forhen came upstairs to his room for his wedding and hid behind the bed. He asked her to cover her head, and he told her the story of the buggy. He tells that it is famous about the buggy that it was created by the military through its experiments. It is very dangerous. It eats humans, and it even has the ability to read human minds. During these talks, Calvin tells this girl that he was made by the military through their experiments. He also tells Calvin that I love you. Suddenly, after hearing this topic after buggy, the girl gets upset and says, "Are you joking by sitting here with me? And all this story that you have told, is it all a joke? Is it your madness?" She had just said this when she heard Tim's voice from downstairs, and in anger she hits her pen at Calvin and says, "Rot here. I am going downstairs. You made a very bad joke to Tim." Calvin started crying in a strange way because the girl was not understanding that she has been trapped in the trap of the Boogeyman. Now, to reduce his anger, he starts searching for something here again, and finally, he finds the drug kept by Eric here. He takes out all this powder and starts smelling it, and also drinks the remaining and drainage liquid here. His condition had become even worse now. But this drug had given him courage to fight the Boogeyman. He now decides that he will fight the Boogeyman. That too with the help of just a frying pan. When he comes down with a frying pan, he hears someone coming from the washroom to take the shawl. He understood that it must be Buggy. Without thinking, he went inside and started hitting someone from behind the curtain. He hit so much that he finally thought that the Boogeyman must be dead. But as soon as he removed the curtain, he saw that there was Tim's wife, whose face was now completely broken. She had crashed due to repeated hitting of the pan by Calvin, and here Calvin's mind gets even more disturbed. He goes in front of the mirror and looks at himself. Has he not turned into the Boogeyman? Strange thoughts were coming to his mind. But his face in the mirror was that of Calvin. And when he was in this scared stage, the most shocking thing here is that the Boogeyman, who is already in this cabin, starts talking to him. The Boogeyman thanks him because Calvin had been helping him commit murders for so long. Calvin gets scared. He had no intention of doing this. He denies this and says, "No, I did not do anything like that." The Boogeyman laughs after hearing this, and Calvin also starts laughing, and he keeps laughing as if he is realizing what he has become. Now, in the post-credit scene of the movie, we see that another group of friends comes inside the same cabin to mark the location. One friend goes to the kitchen and keeps all the supplies there. Then suddenly the Boogeyman comes behind him, who straightens the girl and kills her by stabbing her in the stomach, and his other friends do not even know what happened to them. And in the next scene, we are shown that Calvin was now hiding under the bag in that room, wearing clothes like the Boogeyman, which means that he had really become the Boogeyman's partner. The movie ends here showing all this.